The Lord be with you. Today is the 22nd Sunday of the year on our church calendar. Let us tackle this Sunday's Gospel. Dear brothers and sisters, there are three topics in today's Gospel. Before we tackle those three, we must know first who the scribes and Pharisees are. The scribes are the scholars of the laws of the Old Testament. So they added laws that are not commanded by God. They put burdens of laws which themselves cannot do, neither lift their single finger to act on them. While the Pharisees are the rich worshippers in the temple of God. The scribes and Pharisees were the enemies of our Lord Jesus Christ. They enticed the high priest to put to death Jesus. Our Lord Jesus Christ called them hypocrites. These are some verses Jesus told them. The scribes and Pharisees have sat in the chair of Moses. All things, therefore, that they command you, observe and do. But do not act according to their words, for they talk, but do nothing. And they bind together heavy and oppressive burdens, and lay them on men's shoulders, but not with one finger of their own do they choose to move them. In fact, all their works they do in order to be seen by men, for they widen their phylacteries and enlarge their tassels, and love the first places at suppers, and the front seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the marketplace, and to be called by men, Rabbi. But woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you shut the kingdom of heaven against men. For you yourselves do not go in, nor do you allow those going in to enter. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you traverse sea and land to make one convert, and when he has become one, you make him twofold more a son of hell than yourselves. Brothers and sisters, those are some woeful verses said to them by the Lord. There are more woeful verses accounted to them. Let us now tackle or discuss our gospel for today. In the first topic of the gospel, our Lord healed the dropsy man even on Sabbath day. Jesus asked the lawyers and Pharisees, saying, "It is lawful to cure on Sabbath day?" But they remained silent. And Jesus touched the dropsy man and healed him and let him go. Then Jesus, addressing them, he said, "Who among you shall have an ass or an ox drop on a pit, and will not immediately get him up on the Sabbath?" And they could give him no answer to these things. Here, brothers and sisters, the Lord shows that in every rule there is an exception. You can disobey the Sabbath day if the situation is for the goodness and salvation of your fellow men. For example, on these days of our time, there are plenty who speculate that no observance of holiday or not attending Sunday Mass is not a mortal sin if you are working to earn a living. This is a wrong perception of God's justice. You can be exempted only if there is a need or emergency to help or save one's life. Second topic, the scribes and Pharisees choose first seats. That's why Jesus told this parable. When thou art invited in a wedding feast, do not recline in the first place, lest perhaps one more distinguished than thou have been invited him, and he who invited thee and him come and say to thee, "Make room for this man," and then thou begin with shame to take the last place. But when thou art invited, go and recline in the last place, that when he who invited thee comes in, he may say to thee, "Friend, go up higher." Then thou wilt be honored in the presence of all who are at table with thee. For everyone who exalts himself shall be humbled, and he who humbles himself shall be exalted. Here, brothers and sisters, the message of the Lord is very clear. Pride is nothing but the highest act of the devil. Third topic. Jesus said, When thou givest a dinner or a supper, do not invite thy friends, or thy brethren, or thy relatives, or thy rich neighbors, lest perhaps they also invite thee in return, and a recompense be made to thee. When thou givest a feast, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and blessed shalt thou be, because they have nothing to repay thee with, for thou shalt be rewarded at the resurrection of the just. Here, brothers and sisters, the Lord disregarded the saying, charity begins at home. The charity must be given to the needy and less fortunate people, not to the friends, brethren, relatives, and rich neighbors. Jesus wants us to receive nothing in return, especially honor or crowning of glory, because there is only one important thing to gain heavenly reward, which is life eternal. We are from Mother. Until next issue, brothers and sisters, if you have questions, just message your comments.